transition. They actually have a much better experience, whereas previously they would kind of show up flat-footed, totally lost, didn't know how to react, and they just immediately get killed. It was a very demoralizing experience for people.
How do you feel that you compare to, you know, a company that is kind of in the same situation as you, or a bigger company? Do you feel like they're doing the whole doom loop thing where they're constantly going to like new trends and they're not really getting the ball rolling, or
That's not the case for big companies. It is the case for small companies. So I'll take the big companies first. Big companies are necessarily risk averse. They've got to pay the bills, and as a result they will work on the same franchise. Like Electronic Arts will do Madden 2009 and Madden 2010 and Madden 2011 because they know they're going to sell billions of dollars worth of Madden every year. So they're also going to have a racing game, a first-person shooter game, a role-playing game. They're going to have each element in their portfolio, and they're going to have safe bets across the way. They will take risks, but they're going to be small risks, and they're not going to bet the farm. Even a company that's known for its innovation like Blizzard is going to pick a genre that they're familiar with, or one that they think has got a tremendous amount of material, and they're going to focus on that for 2 to 3 years at a time. Making large AAA titled games is a very risky proposition, because you could spend 100 people spending 3 years, you could spend $5 to $50 million on a game, and you're going to recoup your investment in 6 weeks or you're going to fail. And most people will see the revenue on the first weekend, and that if you don't see it because of timing or because the game is a flop, you know, you have a tremendous opportunity cost as well as capital cost that you've lost. In that respect, we have a lot more flexibility than big companies. First of all, because we're not as revenue bound because of the investment that we have from our parent company. So we can try a couple of smaller games, and if they don't succeed, that's okay. We can learn from it and move on and take our lessons and apply to a different game. Where really small companies succeed and fail is that they can try new ideas quicker, but then they may not have enough people or enough resources to actually make a success. There is a critical mass factor where you can make the best game in the world, but if nobody knows about it, you don't have any distribution, then it doesn't matter. So that's we feel like we've got an excellent balance of small enough to take risks, but big enough to actually execute.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's kind of go into you a little bit more. What do you think you have your 5 top qualities?
For me personally, definitely the ability to handle ambiguity and paradox. I also am more interested in solving the people part of. I always tell people that the hardest part about technology products is not the technology, it's the people. And so that means hiring good people, keeping good people happy, and really finding out what motivates people, and that on an individual level. So for me, that's very important as a manager. The other thing is that I think it's a healthy amount of flexibility, and ability and willingness to change and try new things. I'm also personally constantly learning, so new technologies, new management techniques, and I think probably the last thing that's probably most important to me is just listening. I found that it doesn't matter what I say or think, as long as I can articulate what other people are thinking, and I'm listening to.
Okay. What brings you to work every day? Like, what do you look forward to?
That's a good question. I know that every day is going to be different. I know what problems I left behind, but I don't necessarily know what problems I'm going to face that day. So I think that's probably the most important thing for me, is that I know that there's going to be a new challenge, it's going to be something different. And I think the thing that brought me to Garage Games and what keeps me there is the fact that I've got a very tactile product that I can look at it, I can show people and say, that's what I do, that's what I help make. And that's very empowering. And I think the other thing is that it's fun. It's a fun place to work. It's a fun thing to work on. So all of that is great, and I could go make enterprise websites anywhere, but I don't think any of them would be as much fun as what I'm working on now.
Now, where do you see this company in 10 years?
I have no idea. I have no idea. We do the planning out for 3 to 5 years, and we know what the potential is. But one of the things that we've also learned is that the first thing to go is the plan. So the potential is for us to become as large of a publisher as you've heard, as Microsoft or Electronic Arts or anything like that, because of the unique way that we're getting the technology done. That's not necessarily a goal for us. The main goal is, I think, that we are creating new different virtual gaming that doesn't exist, and I think that Garage Games has been around for almost 10 years now, and really empowering people to make their own technology and making their own games. I think that that's probably the thing that we're going to have the best reputation for in 10 years is creating technology for other people to communicate and interact. We really think of gaming as a social activity and not just a technical one. So I think that's probably what we'll be most known for.
Now, do you think that Garage Games is a great company, or do you think it needs to work on some stuff?
I think it definitely needs to work on some stuff. I think that it's got tremendous potential and fantastic talent. I think the things that hold us back is having a common vision. And that's a hard thing to do, to maintain. We have almost 100 people in the company, and trying to give a bunch of creative people all thinking about, okay, we're going to go build this and just get this done before we go on and move on to the next thing. It's a constant challenge. But that said, I don't know that any company that is on the great path, a great company in level 5, I don't know that they would recognize it as themselves. It's kind of self-referential. I think it's kind of like asking, a manager, okay, well, how do I become the best manager? Well, if you have to ask yourself how to be the best manager, you're probably not the best manager. Whether you're a manager or a company, I think you will discover success naturally.
Definitely.